Running out of time. What is on the list?
By 9 we should be at it.
Okay, all right. Okay, there are a couple of questions here about gun violence and what to do about gun laws. And so I'm going to kind of just leave that as an open question to each of you. And we're going to start with Darcey.
We are lucky in New Jersey that we have excellent gun safety laws, thanks to our Democratic legislator. My opponent, Senator Bucco, has voted nearly every common sense gun safety measure in his career. He has voted against closing the gun show loophole. He has voted against background checks for all guns. He has voted against banning high-capacity magazines. He has voted against allowing municipalities to create gun-free zones around schools. He did recently shift a little bit on the vote requiring schools to have police warrants. He voted against that in 2013. He abstained in 2014, and he voted against it in 2016. But now he's for it because he's in a really tough election race where people suddenly care about this issue. It's one of the top issues because we see people are upset that they have legislators in Trenton who are voting against their families. We are a gun-owning family. We support the Second Amendment, but I think that there is so much ground on where we agree on background checks, on making sure that your weapons are secure in your house, and I think that if New Jersey is able to continue to lead, perhaps we can serve as an example to other states like Indiana, where I went to college, that has terribly lax gun laws that then lead to increased violence in its neighboring states.
Thank you. Tell me how you feel about the gun laws and what would you do to improve things?
Well, first of all, Darcey, you're absolutely wrong. I voted for enhanced background checks and common sense gun control measures. I voted to prohibit bump stocks. I voted against allowing high-powered ammunition, armor-piercing ammunition. I voted for common sense gun laws here in New Jersey during my time in the legislature. But I've also gone one step further. I fashioned legislation, ahead of the curve legislation, that truly protects our students and our communities. The Class 3 police officer legislation that allows retired police officers to be in the classroom to protect our children and in our houses of worship is what will protect our students and our people. The RSVP 3 program, which will train students, faculty, healthcare professionals, law enforcement, to recognize traits of someone that might commit one of these heinous acts, will prevent these acts before they occur. That's where we need to head, because we already have the toughest gun laws in the country here in New Jersey. Unfortunately, my opponents want to use this rhetoric and false statements and distort my record to try to get ahead. There's dark money pouring into this district on those false statements that they continue to reiterate that are completely wrong.
As a former member of our military, I understand guns, and I understand gun safety, and I understand that guns can do harm, and I understand that there needs to be common sense legislation around guns. I don't advocate for being able to drive down the street in an Abrams tank. There has to be some meaningful regulations to control guns. And we have them here in New Jersey. Matter of fact, we have gone so far in this state that your son or daughter can have a slingshot. I mean, that's how absurd our laws of guns. They can't have a BB gun, they can't have a slingshot. And we are doing this not for the actual protection of people or to solve any real problems or to prevent crime or make our schools safer. We're doing it for sound bites and national rhetoric and to get votes, and it's not right. The real solutions are stuff that Tony has already done, like he just mentioned, and championed the Class 3 officer program and RSVP 3, and working with Sheriff Gannon to go to the left of Bang, which means he wants to identify the issues early on and address the issues before there's a problem, and really work hard to make our schools and communities safer. That's what's important. In the state of New Jersey, we have restricted gun laws that are restricted enough. And I'm for common sense legislation, but I'm not for ridiculous legislation, like preventing a kid from having a slingshot just so you can say you're tough on guns.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. I think Darcey and I have the same point of view. I'm thrilled that I live in New Jersey, a state that has some of the best common sense gun laws in the entire country. We have some of the lowest gun deaths as a result of it. And in fact, 80% of the gun violence that we have here comes from guns coming from out of state. So any further measures need to be cooperation with nearby states and hope that our federal government can finally do something in this area. I too grew up in Colorado where we did have shotguns in my family and my friends, and so I too know how to use a weapon, and I understand, again, the Second Amendment, but how important safety is. So I'm proud that we live here in New Jersey with such excellent gun legislation. My daughter was the leader of a very large student movement about gun safety. It was called the March for Our Lives, and it took place here in Morris County. And if you wonder how people in Morris County feel about this, a bunch of students, about 20 of them, put together this march, and 13,000 people showed up. More than any other of these marches in the state. So if you wonder again how people in this area feel about common sense gun legislation, they're with the kids.
Okay, thank you.
Morristown.